Not long ago, a young writer told me a story about being taken to dinner by a successful, high-powered agent. The agent asked him what he wanted to write about, what subjects engaged his interest. To which the young writer replied that, to tell the truth, subject matter wasn't all that important to him. What he really cared about, what he wanted most of all, was to write really great sentences. The agent sighed, his eyelids fluttered. After a moment he said, "Promise me that you will never, ever in your life say that to an American publisher." Part of what makes this story so funny and poignant, aside from the gratuitous swipe at American publishers, is that many writers might well say the same thing. They too might say that they care about writing great sentences more than they care about other more obvious aspects of their work, for example, plot. But what prevents them from saying so is probably not the fear of ruining their careers without a sensible agent to advise them. Most writers might not even realize how self-sabotaging such an admission might be, but rather the fact that to talk about sentences is to have a conversation about something far more meaningful and personal to most authors than the questions they're more often asked, such as, do you have a work schedule? Do you use a computer? Where do you get your ideas? Among the things I remember hearing when I was beginning to write was the following rule. You shouldn't and actually can't make fictional dialogue, conversation on the page, sound like actual speech. The repetitions, meaningless expressions, stammers, and nonsensical monosyllables with which we express hesitation, along with the cliches and banalities that constitute so much of everyday conversation, cannot and should not be used when our characters are talking. Rather, they should speak more fluently than we do, with greater economy and certitude. Unlike us, they should say what they mean, get to the point, avoid circumlocution and digression. The idea, presumably, is that fictional dialogue should be an improved, cleaned up, and smoothed out version of the way people talk. Better than real dialogue. Then why is so much written dialogue less colorful and interesting than what we can overhear daily in the internet cafe, the mall, and on the subway? Many people have a gift for language that flows when they are talking and dries up when they are confronted with a blank page, or when they are trying to make the characters honest speak. Once, I assigned a class to eavesdrop on strangers and transcribe the result. I decided to try it myself in a university coffee shop. Within moments, I overheard a young woman telling her male companion about a dream in which she saw Liza Minnelli arrayed in white robes and a starry crown, dressed as the Queen of Heaven. This is the old Liza Minnelli. What made the conversation doubly engaging was that the girl seemed to be romantically attracted to her friend, and was using her story as a means of seduction, unaware that he was, insofar as I could tell, gay. This fact was not unrelated to his lively interest in Liza Minnelli. Yet another connection that his companion was preferring not to make. Like this one, most conversations involve a sort of sophisticated multitasking. When we humans speak, we are not merely communicating information, but attempting to make an impression and achieve a goal. And sometimes we're hoping to prevent the listener from noticing what we are not saying, which is often not merely distracting, but we fear as audible as what we are saying. As a result, dialogue usually contains as much or even more subtext than it does text. More is going on under the surface than on it. One mark of bad written dialogue is that it is only doing one thing, at most, at once.